Welcome to Knowledge on the Go, the podcast brought to you by Vizient's Performance Improvement Program. I'm LaTammy Marks, Senior Performance Improvement Program Director here at Vizient, and your host for today's episode. Today, we're taking a closer look at the value analysis process in healthcare. To help us explore, I'm thrilled to welcome Nicole Schmidt, System Assistant Director of Clinical Supply Optimization at the University of Kansas Health System in Kansas City, Kansas. Nicole, thank you for joining us and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, LaTammy. I'm excited to be here.
Let's set the stage. In today's environment, high-performing value analysis programs must consider life cycle cost, patient outcomes, and overall value across the continuum of care. Nicole, why has value analysis been top of mind for University of Kansas Health System?
There's a lot of important work we're doing. A third of the health system's operational costs are supplies. We need to make sure we have them at the right price, the right supplier, and that the right products are being brought in. We can have a huge financial impact on our health system, and we need to make sure we're managing that strategically. It's a big job we have to do to make sure that fits our clinicians' needs.
I like what you said, that is the third top expense. As a point of reference, Nicole was one of the participants in our recent value analysis optimization benchmarking survey, where 31 organizations from across the U.S. shared the current state of their value analysis programs. Nicole, why was it important for University of Kansas Health System to participate?
We wanted to see where we fell amongst our peers. What are we doing that's working well? Where do we have room to improve? And we wanted to know what others were doing and what Vizient has set as the 5-star. This is the gold standard for each area within value analysis. Figuring out what that gold standard was and where we are now and how we're going to get there can only make us better and help us to improve in our processes that we have here.
We found that 58% of organizations have physicians that are actively engaged. How did you gain buy-in from leadership when initially implementing your VA program?
The first big thing was we've all been striving for clinical integration. We knew we had to get those key stakeholders, executive leadership, and physicians on board and seeing the same vision and need that we had. We aligned with our organization's goals, ensuring that our value analysis initiatives aligned with the broader strategic priorities for our organization. That helped those stakeholders and the executive leadership team understand how our projects were going to support the overall mission and goals. We engaged those stakeholders early. The earlier you can include someone in your plans and make them feel part of the process, they gain more ownership in their commitment to that initiative. We made sure we were all on the same page and took their thoughts, ideas, and suggestions into building out our charter and goals initially. Made sure to build trust and transparency with those physicians. That was big. Fostering a culture of trust and transparency. It's easier said than done, but regularly updating them on the progress and our outcomes, being open to feedback and concerns from them, and showcasing success stories along the way from the beginning, highlighting successful pilot projects we had done and demonstrating the positive impact that value analysis could have on the health system.
I love how you mentioned that creating a culture of trust is important and then bringing the stakeholders in. So it's almost like inclusion increases ownership. Our benchmarking survey was 29% reported that they use supply-related spend data, evidence-based literature on a limited basis, and some clinical data to support VA decisions. The use of integrated data, i.e. operational, procedural, financial, and all in between, are important to ensure the entire picture is being considered when making product decisions. How does University of Kansas Health System go beyond price and manage and analyze data to support your value analysis decisions?
Just like you said, LaTammy, data is a huge piece. It's our biggest tool that we have as a value analysis team. Making sure we're utilizing it for financial, clinical, and operational data, not just the financial data, really important. We have a clinical value analysis dashboard so we can visualize where we're at today, provide any actionable insight. They help track our KPIs, You can trend things quickly, anything that's needing intervention, evidence-based decision-making, analyzing clinical outcomes and cost effectiveness of products ensures that the decisions are grounded in the best scientific evidence, which leads towards improved patient care and cost savings. We're always remembering at the end of the day, there's a patient there. So everything we do is for the patient. Our team uses data to review our decisions post-implementation, not just on the front end, but note all of the baselines that we use to drive the decision that we made to implement the product and report out on the outcomes. How did it actually financially impact us? Was there profitability that changed or operating margins that were improved? What were the clinical outcomes, any operational outcomes, efficiencies operationally? And then having that data and the ability to report back to the group that made the decision is really powerful and helps us all become better decision makers at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit more about that process. It sounds like those are lessons learned that you're doing. Is that after every initiative?
On the big ones, for sure, they all turn into big ones. It never sees something so simple. We do lessons learned in addition to those report outs. The lessons learned is more along the way throughout the projects. The team knows to document something they ran into that they didn't expect to. We get together afterwards. We discuss what went well, what could be improved, and any unexpected challenges. Those are the three big things. To get to a root cause, understand the underlying reasons why any of those issues were encountered, and that helps in identifying any systemic problems that we can fix or develop a strategy to prevent them in the future. We can come up with any actionable recommendations for not just our team, but other areas. We're trying at the moment to discover what is the correct platform for us to share our lessons learned outside of just our team so that everybody can learn and grow from the mistakes that we ran into throughout the projects or challenges we encountered to try to make us more efficient in the future. But we try really hard to make sure that the team feels like the work environment they have, it's okay to make mistakes and we want to learn from them together. And it just helps maintain that culture of continuous improvement.
I love what you said. You are looking for an avenue to share that out with the broader organization. It shows how transparent your department is or would like to become. So now that you are well on your way and have been on this continuous cycle of improvement, could you share and discuss one of your notable achievements related to your value analysis program?
Absolutely. It's hard to pick one because we could go so many different avenues with that. One that's really had a big impact on the entire health system and not just our department is quality improvements. At the end of the day, we are responsible for the products that we bring in to the health system. We found a gap if something is not performing as we expected it to, or even if it's not the whole product in general, but maybe there's a quality issue with the product itself potentially. What are we doing about that? How do we get our arms around that to prevent that from touching our patients? We've worked really closely with risk and some clinical stakeholders to develop a process called non-conforming product process. We give them an avenue to report any quality issues with products that they're having frontline. We track and trend the data, and we've been able to report, hey, we've seen this trend in this specific product and get them samples of it back and have been able to work with them on any changes to raw materials or manufacturing location, et cetera. We've had some companies make actual changes to the manufacturing of the product to prevent that issue from being replicable again. And that's not a typical role of a value analysis team, but it was something we found as a gap that was happening and have worked with our health system to put a program or solution in place for them. Quality and safety is always top of mind for everyone for the health system. So it's really great how everyone has come together to do the best thing for the patient. It brings to light other sides of our team and things we can do as supply chain and not just save money or offer a new product or a technology, but we're here for all the right reasons too. And we want to help however we can.
That proactivity is awesome in how you're closing the loop and communicating back to the supplier. And then in turn, the supplier is improving the product. Like, That's more of cost avoidance too, because that's something that you are not having to deal with in the future. It's almost like a full circle.
It's a win all around. And it does build our relationship with that supplier so much closer too.
You mentioned about all of your tracking and your KPIs. We surveyed the respondents from the benchmarking survey on how important it is to track and measure metrics, but also how value analysis decisions are being communicated to the broader organization. What is the number one thing that you would share with organizations that are listening, how they can get started on focusing on value analysis more?
Aligning your goals with the health system's overall goals and mission. Make your goals important to them and how you can report them out regularly to them. I report out my KPI metrics and goals regularly to our VP of supply chain, and they get taken to executive leadership for report out as well. But just getting them in front of them, good, bad, great, or indifferent, but that you're doing something and that you do bring value to the organization.
And I'm sure that your leadership really appreciates that open communication. It minimizes surprises.
Yeah, but also it shouldn't be surprising. It's not really to me anymore, but they want to help remove the barriers if you're not being successful. If they understand the reason why it's a goal and why it's something you're trying to achieve, and if it aligns, they want to help you be successful and they want to remove those barriers so you can get there.
So what's next? Where is your value analysis program headed? Any innovations or goals you're excited about?
Well, we are piloting a new committee. I love joining all of the education that Vizient provides because I can pick up on so many things people are already doing and being successful with. But we are piloting a committee that's going to work with the executive leadership over a specific service line to look 3 to 5 years out for what new technologies are coming, what innovations are happening within the cardiac space or whatever it is. Our contracts typically through Vizient are 3-year terms. So if we know 3 years out where we need to be going and what that looks like, the suppliers have their roadmaps. They know what they're building that far out. So we want to get there too so that we can plan accordingly and help make the best decisions ahead of time and just get in lockstep with them. We're inviting all of the crucial people we feel need to be a part of the committee to help us make that happen. I'm going to bake them cookies and go sell the goal and the mission. I'll probably be reaching out to Vizient. You guys have those technology maps out with the suppliers too, because you're working out ahead of time. And what calendars and info can we get?
I love how you are planning for the future on this ever-changing of the healthcare environment changing. It's important to plan. Your wealth of information is invaluable that you've shared today. And I wanted to just thank you for these great gems on what healthcare organizations can do when thinking about advancing their value analysis program. My important question to you, our audience, is, do you know the current state of your value analysis program, and have you begun to identify opportunities for improvement? Thanks again to Nicole Schmidt for joining us today and sharing your insights. And thanks to you, all of our listeners. Please join us for more knowledge on the go. You can subscribe today, like us, and send us your comments at picollaboratives@vizientinc.com. We encourage you to keep the conversation going. And as it continues, remember to put your knowledge into action. Until next time, I'm LaTammy Marks.